Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for joining us at this time. We are very grateful. We are doing this show live from Philly, or if you like, Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, where we are here with a special rebuter for Edith Kawalak. So she's actually in there. I'm just coming from in there. And so we could not do any live videos in there. And that's why decided, I'm sure it will not be very clear because of the position of my camera. So I want you all to bear with me. As you join us, share extensively to everybody who will be joining us at this time. My name is Eric Tato. I'm publisher, editor-in-chief of National Telegraph. I have just had a very insightful discussion with Mr. John, the communications officer of Penn University, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to pull out his card that he just gave me a few minutes ago. I was actually at his office, and but there's some person in there who is taking some videos for us, for National Telegraph, and we said that it was important before it's dark for us to actually put out this video so that everybody can watch from every part of the world to understand the reality of the issue. I think this is not about politics. It is about exactly the things that we will be discussing today, and also because it has come to our attention the need for National Telegraph to always remain very focused when it comes to disseminating information. I want to believe that everybody who is joining is getting me. So please, once you join, share extensively. Let's have everybody on board. Everybody who is joining us should be able to get the show. We'll start talking when we have at least 250,000 people watching live. So I think at this juncture, we will soon start. We are right here in Perry House. Kawalak is right there. Actually, when I had a discussion with some of the students, and as you can see, that is Perry House, Perry Well House, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's very clear now. Perry Well House. This is Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. So we actually felt that as one of the media organs that has been authoritative covering the events in the crisis hit regions of the Northwest and the Southwest, which is now preferred by many of the residents of the two English regions. They now prefer to call it the Northern Zone and the Southern Zone of a new country that they are trying to restore called Ambazonia, which was formerly the British Southern Cameroons. It is our obligation as defenders of the oppressed. You know, National Telegraph is the pinnacle of concise, objective, and investigative reporting. And so we owe the obligation to every one of our listeners, especially those who are watching from the federal capital of the United States of America, Washington, D.C., and most especially those who are watching from Philadelphia at this moment in Pennsylvania. We actually want to thank the authorities of this school for giving us the permission to shoot this live show right out here. I want to thank everybody who's watching at this time, and to thank all the followers of National Telegraph. I think in the course of this program, there are a couple of revolutions that we're going to make. And it is rather very interesting that Kawalak has been very inconsistent in her actions. I have discussed that with the school, and I've also had some background information why she's here. So I got that she'll be leaving in a couple, like 4 days or so. And I think we'll go straight to the point when we have a 250,000 people watching. So anybody who's joining, please let's share extensively. And this is very important. Let me see if I got this. Okay, I think I got the so I got the card here. I'm going to display all of this. It's very important. And so, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Southern Cameroonians, the world over. Those of you who are watching, those of you watching from Yaoundé, the capital of the Republic of Cameroon, those of you watching from Boya, which is the capital of the southwest region of Cameroon, now preferred as the capital of southern Cameroon, or Ambazonia. We're very happy, and we also want to thank our followers who are watching from Uganda, those who are watching from Nigeria, especially those who are in the refugee camps. We know it's quite very late, and we are here at the Perry Ward House in Pennsylvania, precisely in Philadelphia, which of course is one of the cities in Pennsylvania. We will also be visiting some friends in other areas just not too far from here. Without said, ladies and gentlemen, it is important for you to know. We will start this live show with some important things. I will go to this particular one. Let me pick it up really quickly. What KAH WALLA said some time ago. So let me see what I can do to bring it out there. Okay. So most of you must have watched what's going on with the inconsistencies of Edith KAH WALLA. Just not too long ago, she spoke on this same show. When I come to this same show, I mean in the United States of America, and she was the same place with Dr. Neba Fontaine, where she explained very clearly. I think those videos are there. I have made references to this university, and you know, it is very, very important for us all to know that why we try to underestimate how much damage this KAH WALLA of a woman can do to the truth. It's very important that National Telegraph, that has been very into the affairs of the Southern Cameroon's crisis, should be able to put a narrative that is absolutely correct and very straight to the point and objective and investigative. And that's why we drove over 4 hours from Maryland today to come to Pennsylvania, to Philadelphia, and we are happy and we thank God for joining us. Now, this is a university community, if you must know, where the Perry Ward House is actually inside the University of Pennsylvania, if you must know, and it has a very huge university community. I'm sure the events now ended. There's a very huge university community, and you will be shocked that all the students going out and others that will come after this, they are taking notes on what people are telling them about what is happening in Southern Cameroon or in Cameroon. And it is important that social media, the role of the media is to inform people, to let people make informed choices. And all the students in the University of Pennsylvania who are attending this talk by KAH WALLA, and those who have been attending, based on what she's going to tell them, because she's the speaker, that is what they're going to take home. They're going to take to their various homes, to their parents, to their friends, to a lot of other persons who will be listening to them, because it's a multiplier effect of communication. And once that happens, it means that there will be a different narrative out there. How would KAH WALLA say that it is because the Anglophone diaspora or Southern Cameroon diaspora lied to the people, or to those they call on ground zero, that's to the residents of the 2 English regions, that UN gunships were in Limbe, Manaobe, that is why they went to the streets. Now, in order for us to get, in order for us to get the facts straight, we as a people, well, I'll be responding to people who are raising concerns. There's somebody who says here that I'll prefer you go there, finish with her before you doing live show. Okay, great. I think we are done with what we are supposed to do with her and with the school. You know, this is a school setting, and we needed to make a petition, and that's why we're here. It is very different from other settings where you can really disrupt as going to say, oh, stop this meeting, don't talk here. Here we came to imprint a point in the minds of the students and to the communication. As you can see, this is the card of the communication. Is Director of Communications and Research. It's a very important personality here in Pennsylvania, University of Pennsylvania. Of course, it's Dr. John A. Gans. Of course, you can see Dr. A. Gans, PhD. So I just took his card. We discussed. I was in his office. We talked, and I made the points very clear. And I told him very clearly. And of course, if you must have noticed, I'll also display some pictures here. Let me go down there straight up. One thing, this here. Let me pick it up. Well, the picture that I took, and to explain to you further because it's important. The gallery, yeah. So I want us all to understand what is going on, because I think we have to be very strong when it comes to our actions. So you can see when I was leaving the office of the Director of Communication, I actually took a picture of KAH WALLA. That's KAH WALLA. You can see. I hope it's very clear. Let me increase the resolution so that you can all see it very clearly. I think it's clear now. That's KAH WALLA. That's her office, because they actually gave us space there. Since, according to the information that I gathered, which is very important for us all to know, as the office is in 215. You know, we at the National Telegraph, we like to take the things right to the place so that our people who are watching us, we respect the right of our listeners to have only the exact information. And so KAH WALLA is not just here on any basis. She has a very strong role to play here. She's coming here as a fellow. A fellow means she's visiting and they're exchanging. She's talking to students, and which is very crucial, because I think this is a very diabolic plan. I have just informed, Dr. John A. Gans that KAH WALLA is being sponsored by the regime of Mr. Paul Biya, because at the time when she came here last time, she was discussing about how the government was bad and the things that the government did, which was the truth. And you know, as it is the tradition in Cameroon, just like the minister delegate at the Ministry of Justice and keeper of the seals, they call him Mobile Money, Didier Jean de Dieu, Momo Jean de Dieu. He was talking against the government. And what happened? When they gave him a post, he started talking well, they gave him a position, and he stayed quiet. Today, KAH WALLA is doing the same thing. Probably she's been promised a ministerial position. That is what I have told the University of Pennsylvania today, that KAH WALLA has no legal and no particular social jurisdiction over Southern Cameroons to represent any person to talk. I think we know traditional media organs that can give facts about the things that have been happening on the ground. I've actually asked that, how is it possible that somebody who has not gone to two or even one crisis or village that has been hit by the government of Paul Biya will come and be representing the people of Southern Cameroons in America? Well, we know that KAH WALLA has tend to be as a lobbyist for the government of Mr. Paul Biya, and that is why it is important for us pressmen to stand up to the task. Reason why this is on our official page, National Telegraph, because this is a professional broadcast for all our fans around the world to get our objectivity and straight up. Now, going forward, you know, it is very important for our people to know this. You see, in most time, the religion of truth has vamoosed from the minds of many people, not because they don't know it's the truth, but because they have an interest. I will play. Most of you must have watched what KAH WALLA did. You know, the last video that went viral, but you also watched some of the things she said. So I will now try to play this very quickly. Let me see this. Okay, I'll turn the screen so that we can all watch. Let me see what we can do here. Okay.
What is the origin of violence in this campaign, because we have been on this for close to 3 months. When did we see violence entering into the campaign? The lawyers in Bamenda in November had their first match peacefully, no problem. They even finished the match, and the president of the Lawyers Association was giving a speech and thanking the forces of law and order. When what happened? Forces of law and order through tear gas. Violence began. Next, we saw students in Korea protesting peacefully. No student had any act of violence. What was the response of our forces of law and order? We saw these pictures of those children being systematically, not this one video that we are seeing now. We saw video upon video of those children being molested by the forces of law and order. We saw policemen going into dormitories to take out children who had not been in protest. So we should declare the actor of violence in this movement is government. Where did we see the most violent? When we saw again violence coming in was in Bamenda, where the young men put stones on the street, as we are seeing now in the corner here. They put stones on the street. Why? They said we are angry. We are protesting. Do not come here, party in power, against whom we are protesting. Don't come here and flaunt in our faces as if we don't count. So we should be clear. We have a violent government. Government every day in this country violates the rights of its citizens. Even these people who were arrested illegally. There is a legal process.
You have the video? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Sure. Come on,
When you
bro.
want to arrest somebody, you come with a warrant of arrest.
Okay, so just 1 minute. I think we're going to stop the KAH WALLA stuff. We're going to have our friend here who has brought us those videos. So she was out in there, just as we said, for National Telegraph. She was trying to take us a trip. Thank you so much.
What are you doing right now?
Just 1 minute. Can you send it to me here?
Yeah, sure. What's your email address?
Can you send it to me on WhatsApp or something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Or on.
I don't know if I have WhatsApp. Let me check.
Okay.
Oh yeah, wait, I do.
Okay. So I give you the number. I give you the video. The number you send it there. That'll be nice.
Wait, are you live streaming this?
Yeah.
Should I get out?
Yeah, you can just send me the video.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're going to send it on this number. Let me give you the number real quickly.
Sure. Wait, what are you?
I don't have
Are
WhatsApp.
you? Okay.
Yes, just with my wife on number. So please, I
Sure.
think
The
yeah.
home number?
Yes, this one. No, this one.
Oh, the top one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus
How do I?
plus. If you put one, it's not going to go. So please,
Okay, so it's plus
one. Yeah. Okay. 202.
202
202
820.
Yes.
and 2281.
Perfect. So it's going to pop up.
Oh.
And then you send it to me. And,
Maybe I'll go within the app. It's not working on there.
no, you have to save it in the regular normal phone. And
Yeah.
then,
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, so you're going to save it in normal contact, and then you.
Oh, a new contact?
Yeah, like a new contact, and then you put it out there. So plus one. Plus one.
202
Uh-huh.
820 2281.
Perfect.
Okay, and then what are you doing? Like,
Just go ahead.
what is this?
Well, like I explained to Mr. John, we have the speaker trying to present a couple of things that are going back home, so we needed just to do a couple of things. But that's fine. Just the video will be okay for us.
Okay, I have to allow it to access my
To access your phone.
photos.
Okay, your photos, right? Photos and videos, right?
Yeah. I just never use WhatsApp, so okay.
They saw me put it down, you know I ain't gonna use it.
Okay, I have one that's like 40 seconds and one that's 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. So send me both. All right. Yeah, send those to me.
Yeah, sure. Wait, sorry. So what is
No, okay, good. We need just that.
what are you live streaming? Okay, it's cool.
That's cool,
If you
right?
want to keep it private.
So just send it to the number. That's okay. We'll do the rest.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Well, that was the lady who was helping us to get the videos from inside. So we'll come back. So You've all listened to KAH WALLA speak in that other video, and like we said, that we had somebody in there that was helping us to get those videos, and it was very important because we didn't want to get when it was when it will be dark before we go live on this. So just before we got a little bit that very kind interruption, we have to understand one thing. KAH WALLA said it very clearly. You have listened there, that the issue is that there is a violent government in Cameroon, which is the BR regime. So what happened that KAH WALLA came again and said that it was people in the diaspora who actually encouraged people to go kill themselves. So now, I think that is not the point. But in journalism, we at the national television, we owe the public the truth. Now, KAH WALLA said one thing, that the diaspora, I want us, when we are speaking, and because this is a message that's going to the international community, she said the diaspora, it's because the diaspora asked people to go out there to that the UN was coming, that caused the government to be killing people. Well, these are things that are involved, and I want us to get it clear. Did the diaspora say that the UN had, rather, did the diaspora say that the UN had war or gunships around Limbe, somewhere on ground zero, like people will call it? The answer is yes. Okay, she was right, because that is what some people said. We don't want to call names, but this is the argument, which is very important for us at the National Telegraph. Take, for example, I'll pull this out really quickly. Okay, in one of our reports that was published back in 2007, in 17 rather, we're trying to and must understand is the fact that Southern Cameroon has never been involved in any violence until the regime in Yaoundé started attacking people, like KAH WALLA said. On the 28th of September, we published this story with this picture. That is the picture. Okay. In this story, we actually even directed people to the website of the United Nations. I want to come, because this is a center stage of the argument that some people might want to validate KAH WALLA based on conspiracy theories. And National Telegraph is right here, and we have spoken with school authorities, and they are aware that everything that KAH WALLA says is not the truth. Now, according to what I explained to the Director of Communications and Research, National Telegraph had published that 21 observers, secret foreign observers, were in Southern Cameroon as at 2017. That was a fact. And that there was a possibility that the UN was going to intervene. Now, thereafter, some activists published that the UN has its gunships in Southern Cameroon already, in the banks of Victoria. That is what they said. You know, when you're talking about news, you have to be very consistent. Now, our report is very clear. Now, when KAH WALLA comes out and says that it is because Southern Cameroonians in the diaspora asked the people to go out because the UN was coming, I think there is a flag on what KAH WALLA is trying to do. And every Southern Cameroonian who is watching this show at this time, we are speaking as National Telegraph, must be concerned about the nitty-gritty of the matter. What is KAH WALLA trying to drive? Is it because the people, did the people go out because they thought the UN was coming? The answer is no. Or because the UN gunships were at Victoria? The answer is no. The people went, I think this is a message that the United Nations, the message that the US State Department, the message that everybody who is watching knows as a fact. You see, it's a very simple message. So we cannot have KAH WALLA come to universities in the US and try to distort the history of Southern Cameroon. So, did the people go out to march on October and in September because they said the UN, because they said the UN had gunships in Southern Cameroon? The answer is no. So that is the thing. You as protectors of your revolution, we are defenders of the oppressed, and we stand by every article we publish. Now, we had activists who wrote that particular article that national Telegram had published, saying that they were observers. You can read it. But today we've seen people on social media saying that, oh, the KAH WALLA was referring to Eric Tato. No. National Telegraph has never published anywhere that, never published anywhere that that somebody is going to come or march because we have Southern Cameroonians here. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?
Good.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mommy, how?
Fine.
How are you? I'm happy to see you. Mommy, how?
Fine. What are you doing?
So, just we are doing the live stream. Maybe you guys want to sit, and then when I get done, we can talk. Mommy, how? So, like we're saying, the issue is simple. Once somebody has a message to drive, you have to stay on the positive and intelligent side, not conspiracy theories. It is not because our independence, what she's trying to do, and I've explained to the poor here in Pennsylvania, is that she's trying to reduce all our initiative, all our strides into the fact that it was not a declaration of independence. The people went out assuming that, yes, they were fooled that the UN was coming because they believe in the UN. Did they go out? If a government, like you have said, KAH WALLA, that the government of Cameroon is a violent government, it doesn't respect laws, would a government instead be afraid to kill people when they hear that the UN is coming, or would they go to kill the people? That's the question. But they didn't care about anything that was happening, and they went ahead to shoot people. Now, because we at the National Telegraph, we are concerned about true information. We had a publication on our wall that is there, and we have never changed it. We have never edited it. It was clear that 21 observers were there. 4 other activists afterwards published what KAH WALLA is now hanging on to, that UN had gunships in Cameroon. National Telegraph never published that. But this is what I want everybody who is watching to actually listen to the voice of wisdom. KAH WALLA intended to reduce your declaration by Sisi Kwayuk Tabe, your president, the president of what you call Ambazonia, to a mere fact that is because the diaspora. No, it was the will of the people. It's because the people believe that, yes, the UN could protect them. So it was instead a plus that the people went out there in the belief that the United Nations, what is wrong in people believing that the United Nations was actually there with gunships to protect them? There's nothing wrong in that. So it means that KAH WALLA is simply trying to reiterate to the United Nations that they failed the people of Southern Cameroon. And it's about time the United Nations started taking actions. So for us to move away from the crux of the matter, which is actually out in the back, and begin to talk things that are trivial. See, we want to seize the opportunity to tell our followers one thing. We have a virus that takes real news and destroys fake news. We don't do fake news at National Telegraph. Our article is there. I've seen somebody that have put one article, what I wrote, disclaiming the fact that we never said anything about the UN coming to Cameroon as in coming with gunships. We never said that. And we said the UN is ready to intervene based on what our friend told us, the 44-year-old German man. Is there on our wall, uneducated. And 4 activists that we know, including the person who is peddling the fake news about National Telegraph, actually said that the UN was there with gunships. But I'm not interested in what that person said. That was fake news. Yes, that was fake news, and we are supposed to be concerned about how KAH WALLA is trying to change the narrative and put it to the world that, yes, our people went out for 2 reasons. The people of Southern Cameroon, they went out to protest for 2 reasons. Number 1, because they had a conviction that what Sisi Kwayuk Tabe said about the Declaration of Independence was true and was right. That was the first thing. Why the people of Southern Cameroon, the Northwest and the Northwest, went to protest. Number 2, they went to protest because some activists said that UN was already in limbo with gunships because they believe in the UN. And so, why did the UN fail them? That is the question. Why did the UN fail? I think what Kawalaka said is God that has pushed her to say that, because it rekindles the optimism, the enthusiasm with which, you know, the people of Southern Cameroon were thinking that the United Nations was going to protect them as a protector of human rights. But the UN failed them because the UN allowed the people of Southern Cameroon to be massacred. Unfortunately, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people want to change the narrative on social media. We at the National Telegraph, we are concerned about objective reporting. We cannot come and deny here that Southern Cameroonians did not say that the UN, they said it, they wrote it. We know them. We know 4 activists who did it. All of them are denying it, trying to push it to National Telegraph. But our writings are clear. We have never said anywhere that the UN had gunships in Victoria. We didn't say that. We have not said that the UN is in Cameroon after 2007. We never said that. We simply said the UN was ready to intervene. It's the same like Trump and Russia and Venezuela. The US is ready to intervene in Venezuela, but the UN is not in Venezuela. So it was a simple fact that what we published in 2017, the people who are on social media, who are supposed to be reasonable, who should know that National Telegraph is one of, if not the most authentic news organ covering the Anglophone crisis, you should know that we wrote the English language. When we said somebody is ready to intervene, we didn't say the person has intervened or is in Cameroon. Those are 2 different things. America is ready to intervene in the Southern Cameroon's conflict. Is America having gunships there? No, we didn't say that. America is already intervening from distance. Intervention can be by cutting military aid and all of those things. So, you know, we have to understand that at the National Telegraph, if we are not sure of anything, we don't publish it. So anything that you see in our world 20 years ago has never been deleted because we have confidence in the things that we have published. We will never be associated, be linked to fake news. So we cannot deny the fact that, oh, what Kawala said about the fact that they say, oh, people should go, UN ships were coming is a lie. No, we said it. We, I mean the post-Southern Cameroon activists said it, including, in fact, the 4 top activists at the time, they all said it. Everybody said, I can name them. All of them said it. I read from them. All of them said it. It's the truth. But is that the problem? That is not the problem. The problem is instead a credit. It should be a bonus to those activists who believed that the UN was actually coming there, that the UN was there. And if our people went out because, number 1, their president, Sissoco Julius, their president declared the independence, restoration of the independence of Southern Cameroon, and they went there. Number 2, they believed they went out because they believed that the UN was there. So what is wrong in that? So I think that is the crux of the matter. And those of you who are joining, I'm here with the National Telegraph is here at the University of Pennsylvania. And we've spoken with John A. Gans, the Director of Communications and Research here at the university. And we have explained clearly to him the situation and the lies that Kawalak is saying. And we at the National Telegraph, that we have an extensive coverage of the situation on Gang Zero. We have said it very clearly to this university that we are certain that Kawalak has been paid by the government of Mr. Paul Biya. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you people to always remain very concerned about what's going on. So, your revolution, and we as a people who have the interest, the zeal to protect oppressed people at the National Telegraph, that is what we do, to report the truth, to expose lies. And that's exactly what we have done here today at the Perry House in Pennsylvania. We intended to be certain that all of us as a people get it right. Somebody said you just published a disclaimer. Yes, of course. I just published a disclaimer that we published a disclaimer very clearly that what Kawalak said is not linked to us. It's still on our wall. And that we have never said at any point that the UN is coming into Cameroon. We said the UN was ready to intervene. Those are 2 different things. If you don't understand English, that should not be my fault. And why do you think that everybody are trying to link what Kawalak is saying or whatever everybody is saying to National Telegraph? Because they know that is the most authentic news outlet you have covering the crisis, and they think that by saying it, they would have authenticated what Kawalak is saying. But there's a bigger picture to what Kawalak said, which is the failed role of the United Nations. And we are talking as a people, as a press, that the United Nations, from our observation, has failed the people of Southern Cameroon, because even since September or October of 2017, they believed that the UN was coming to help them. but the UN didn't come. Not that National Telegraph said that the UN is there or the UN is coming. No, we said the UN was ready to intervene. And if you go during that period, go and check the UN website on the on that 2017 that will publish on the 28th of 2017, 28th December or September 2000. Go and check. You see that during that period, UN released a statement about the violence in southern Cameroon. One of the first at the time. We don't delete our posts. We keep everything on because we are sure of what we publish. We publish with pictures, with facts. Take for example, when the brother of the chairman of the SDF was kidnapped, we were the first to broadcast it because we believed in the information, and it was there. Although some Pokemon argued, oh, this, that, but finally you saw that every other person is carrying that story when we are carrying like 50 hours before a lot of posts started carrying, because that is that at the National Telegraph, that's what we believe in. We only publish what we are 100% certain about, because we're trying to create an emblem of truth when it comes to journalism around the world. So that's it. So it is here we're going to call it quick. We met a couple of your people here at Pennsylvania, and we have spoken extensively. The university is very aware. We thought that it was important to meet the director of communication and research, Mr. John Gams himself personally, and we have made our petition. Like you've seen, we explained that KAH WALLA is here on a mission. So we have this this particular picture that is going around. People are making rounds on Facebook, and we hear that it's a particular group of people who are trying to, let me see something. A particular group of people who are trying to ensure that they discredit National Telegraph. So I want to just pick up and show you a few pictures before we round up the show. This should be in the gallery very quickly. So we're going to be rounding off in the next couple of seconds. Yeah, I sent this. You can see it's coming from a certain profile called something. We hear it belongs to a certain group. So I think this is what they are writing. They are supporting KAH WALLA, and they claim that KAH WALLA said it was mainly quoting Eric Tato, but unfortunately Eric Tato did not say anything related to what KAH WALLA is saying. That's it. So you can see how much we hear the guys are actually people who believe in just exactly. Yes, how you feeling? Let me wrap this show. 1 minute. So we're going to end here. So we want to thank our brothers who have actually been here. We have Manga and Trees here. So Manga, how you doing? Hey, this is Manga. You see Manga?
Hello.
That's Manga, and we also have our sister here. Everybody is here to ensure that everything. Sister Joyce. All right. So we're trying to explain very accurately that what KAH WALLA did is something that North Southern Cameroonians should condone, and National Telegraph as the pinnacle of concise, objective, and investigative reporting. We must obviously ensure that we debunk a lot of the things that she's saying. I think without said, ladies and gentlemen, we have you can see a lot of guys who came here.
There's a Philly crew.
The Philly crew is right here.
The wife came here, but she escaped. She couldn't take our questions.
Yeah, she said
She couldn't take it. Yes, it's over. She's gone.
No, but she has an office there.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, it's her office. The office is up there. So just 1 quick minute. Let me just wrap up this. So we're going to end here. We think that Southern Cameroonians must remain very committed, must understand exactly what's going on. So if you have people who come and write what say, I was mainly quoting Eric Tato about UN being in Cameroon. So this is what a group of people, this profile belongs to a certain group known as the ADF. We don't know them at the National Telegraph. This is the group said, and KAH WALLA never quoted Eric Tato because Eric Tato never said that the UN is in Cameroon. We only recently said that the UN is in Cameroon about a few months ago. That report is there, is correct, and we named all the UN offices and what pictures that was there. So we want to discard all this funny report. The headline is very easy. UN now ready as 21 observers, foreign observers arrive Cameroon. The headline is talking about foreign observers, not the UN. So we don't know where these people get their facts and what they do. So we're going to leave it at that. We want to stay positive. So National Telegraph is here, and I want to thank all of you who've been watching. We'll be signing out from, of course, from the Perry Warehouse from Philadelphia, University of Pennsylvania. Bye for now, and God bless you. I've been Eric Tato, and wishing you the best and all the best.